Hey, how's it going? Oh, I should probably turn this down a little bit. Sorry. I have some cards. And, what I had on my mind, before I pulled them was something that I heard from the Galactic Federation and also from Cryon, and I'm going to paraphrase what they both said, and that was that what we're doing, the arguing and the fighting with each other, is not like making our issues with each other any better. It's not going to solve problems because that's not what's called for to solve anything. To retaliate in kind, you might say. And I'm thinking particularly of the situation in the United States where there's so much animosity between the two main parties, political parties. Really the only two that matter, because the other ones are just like, you know, you calling yourself that. But the two parties that matter are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And they are spending a lot of time sort of at war with each other, like just disagreeing, and a lot of words fired back and forth that are really not doing anything, like, you know, one-upping each other is no form of currency at all. And so I've just been thinking a lot about, like, it's time to do things a different way, and it's also time for us, each other, to like snap out of it and start treating each other differently than we have been, because if we just continue to do what's always been done over centuries, the amount of change that we're going to see is going to be so minuscule. Like the increments are going to be almost immeasurable in relation to like what we want, like how we would like to see things happen. Like we would like to see movement, progressive movement in, I think our relations are something that we need to kind of deal with first and get past all of the things that we've placed between each other, or that we've allowed to accept as a barrier between us and an excuse to have something against each other. We're not trying, not entirely, I can't say that no one is trying to do this or that no one is doing this, but we have to do other things than we have done. The situation in the United States, none of it is what we are used to. It's like everything is completely different from the way things have been for like memory, like everyone's memory. And so that's evidence to me right there that just behaving the way we always have doesn't really work as well as we would like. And so it's going to take some effort on our parts to be the ones making the changes, because we're the ones that have to live with them. The same way we have to live with the status quo that a lot of people are unhappy with, that is mean and unfair and violent and unthinking and uncaring. There's a lot of people that are into that want to do that. And I'm not going to try and diagnose each person that got to that place, but it is a place you can move out of, and we don't really know that it's not going to be better if we do some things differently. And it does take like some emotional intelligence and maturity on our parts. Like, we have to learn how to take things people are saying that we don't want to hear better. Like, we have to be able to accept it. If we're going to have a First Amendment that allows us free speech and the ability to say anything we want almost any time, with very few exceptions, like, it's pretty wide open, there's got to be a way that we can communicate to with each other that's not completely adversarial, because the being adversarial has gotten to a point where the government is deadlocked. Personal relationships are deadlocked or destroyed because no one wants to give an inch on things or give anybody a break, but we have to start doing that, unless we just want to live in the world that's not the way we like it and we're just all complaining all the time. I know I'm tired of it. Everyone else has got to be tired of it too. Like, everyone's tired of tiptoeing around and biting their tongue. Well, if we're not saying objectionable things that we know are going to get a rise out of each other for the sake of getting a rise out of each other, that is not productive. So we're going to have to hear some things we don't want to hear. It's not the end of the world. Please observe my signs. It's just commentary. It's not the end of the world. However, some stuff that is under discussion, or that can and needs to be again under discussion, maybe that's a different type of playing field. Like, maybe there's a little bit more stakes involved. All the more reason for more care to be involved in the discussions, the negotiations, whatever's involved there. Because one thing that I think, need to start doing that we haven't ever really done is try to, in some way, meet everyone's needs. And that's going to be dealing with things in a completely different manner than we ever have. We're used to things happening really fast, and it's just going to be done. And we're also used to some people being happy with their lot after the discussions and the negotiations, and other people feeling like they got left in a really bad position and they have no recourse to fix anything for themselves. Like, we do just kind of box ourselves in with all of these laws and judgments against each other. And a lot of those are probably coming from specious places that it's just not authentic. You're dealing with like untruthful situations, and that we don't need that. That is not productive to the process. So I was just having those thoughts in mind, and I am fine. Like, I'm ready to... I always have been open to discussion with anyone. I'm not really into arguing, though. But debates do have to happen. Again, we're going to have to hear some stuff we don't want to hear, or we don't feel like hearing it, or we don't want to have the patience to sit there and listen to it. But we do have to start hearing each other out, because when someone is trying to say something to you, to impress something upon you, it means something to them. And so if we react to those sorts of exchanges like they don't mean anything, and the person's message that they're sharing with you or what they're saying to you, you want to feel like your words have meaning to this other person because they have meaning to you. You are trying to impress something upon them. And really all that's required of the listener is to sit there and hear them out. So again, things are probably going to start taking a lot longer than we're used to, because the process, I feel like we're going to be moving into a very different process of deciding big matters that affect everyone. And for everyone to feel like they are... I don't think anyone's going to be 100% satisfied, but I think we can get to a place where people can accept their lot because everyone else is doing the same on some level, and that's an exchange. It's an energy exchange. It could be physical exchange. So anyway, I guess to sum up, what I was thinking is that I don't think I need to sum up. I think I was pretty clear. So I got some messages of Cosmic Oracle cards. And let's see, the first one is, give yourself some credit for doing a good job at this whole living thing. So considering like what we've put each other through for so long, I know this is a spacesuit, but it's almost like we've had to build a hazmat suit around our individual selves just to be around each other, because let's face it, things have gotten fairly toxic, particularly in the political arena and the adjacent sub-arenas like race and status in society, and we got a lot of hard opinions on each other, and what we don't, I think, do enough of is putting ourselves in the position of the person that we have scorn for, or whatever it is. I think that has to be part of the new discussion. So, like, people don't understand where other people are coming from or why they do things, like what motivates them to do certain things, or why they're poor and they live the way they live. If you only are looking at something from the outside and you're not getting like a personal view of what is happening over there at what you're looking at, well, I think that's been missing. At least you can get an understanding of what the other person is doing and why they're doing it. Like, I just think that having some understanding of each other's motivations could help us a lot. So the next card is, clear your mental and physical clutter. You will feel so much better when you do so. So that's interesting. I've been thinking about what I was saying on one of the other levels, or one of the levels, because there are many, I feel. And I was thinking about how social media, while it's kind of harmful for us if we don't have sort of a handle on the interface between us and everything that you're going to face on the internet that's going to be coming back at you, it is also an opportunity, I feel like, to learn how to fine-tune our lives. Like, we have the opportunity to have a friendly conversation with people. We have the opportunity to argue and fight with people on there. We can learn from each other. We can appreciate the talent, like if it's photography or some form of art that they're creating, or just whatever the person has to give that they're posting. And so we can decide if that person or that information is or isn't something we want to look at and block it out completely. Or you can just scroll past it and not have to even engage in that type of engagement even. You have a lot of choices in how to respond or react. And I feel like it gives us lots of practice, so that I don't know if we're thinking of it in that way. It might be more of a subconscious thing, but I feel like it is what we're doing, by which I mean fine-tuning how to have relationships with each other. I don't know if you've noticed, but on many of the sites, actually I think more I've seen this on like Twitter X or Blue Sky, where someone seemingly out of context, but you don't know until you look at their personal feed on the comment and see who's saying what or what they have said, or if they have a thread. Like, you have to kind of look a little bit deeper than the surface if you care, But that's how you find out who you're dealing with. Like, what are they talking about? What are they talking about with the people in their comment section? What in their feed is going on? Are they appreciative of other people? Are they just shitposting other people? Are they just shitposting in general? Just like in life, on this side of the screen, you're going to navigate around or toward people that attract or repel you. What you have online that you don't get IRL is an opportunity to just stop, like just completely pause, back off for a minute, and decide, do I actually want to post this thing that I've written into the thing? And this is like an exercise, I feel like, where you have the opportunity that you have it in life, but you don't really have as much time to mess around and think about it as you do online, where you can decide your response, whatever it may be. And here's a little caveat on that, though. Online, what you do have that you don't have in real life is the courage to say stuff that you probably wouldn't if you were face to face with that person. And that's like a sub lesson in the course, because to say something and then not being able to like stand there and back it up and just like, yep, I said it, it's unpopular and or insulting, you didn't like it, but I'm not going to just say it and run away and not make, and then make it so that you can't answer. Like online, you can remove the ability for people to answer you, but you can just go on there and say stuff and show stuff and then hide behind not leaving them an opportunity to answer. I mean, anyone can take a screenshot of whatever you've posted and then left all of the ability to comment or react back onto it and take it away separate and then answer then. But wow, that seems like a lot of work to just go, that's a great picture, or I don't agree with that. Like just that, not like a whole bunch of name calling in other words, just like, I don't agree with that, and maybe a little bit of why. But in real life, you have the other kind of Dutch courage. Online, you can have the cyber courage, because you can just run away. You can just say something and just leave, and you can just block that person and never have to think about what happened ever again. That's a way to go. I think there's other better ways to deal with things. But then I have a little bug up my butt about people that eliminate your ability to answer back when they're posting. It's like, why are you here? You don't want anybody to interact with you. You just want to, unload on everybody else. Like, whatever. It's a thing I have, but it's a thing. Anyway, you have choices that are presented to you, and so how you deal with them, you get more choices and chances, longer time to think about how you're going to respond. And that's why I feel like it's practice for reality. Like, even if you went through reality first before there was an internet, you now have this to use for, among other things, practice with interacting. Practice with, from my standpoint, how the response is, like how to shape the response, how to decide whether it's even appropriate and a response to give back. I don't know. It's just something that I realized, like, this is like an interesting opportunity. So, let me read again what the card says. Clear your mental and physical clutter. You will feel so much better. So the clearing is the culling, basically, of online you can choose, what do I want? Who do I want? How do I want them? You may have to operate that differently IRL, but your mind has now gone through a number of options, and so you have a little more sort of information going for you in that department, or a little bit of practice. So the next the next card is this one with the sort of lonely seeming planets for some reason. Although there's this bright star here that seems to be radiating all kinds of warmth, and I feel like goodwill, and everybody wants to be close by and to follow in the path. The other planets would be the everybody. So the card says, open your heart, not just a little, all the way, and let the love flow in. I don't really have much to add on that. I lie. I have more to add. So open your heart. That's something that we have a problem with. And if I, just off the top of my head, think about it, I think one reason we have a problem with it is fear. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to put ourselves out there and not get the response we wanted. More practice, though, because what else are you going to do? Like, everything, when you look at it through this lens, is practice. Everything you do is an opportunity to learn about a situation, someone else, or yourself. And so, opening your heart and opening it a lot, like all the way up, and just surrendering to the moment, like just laying yourself on the mercy of the court of public opinion, whatever it is a scary proposition, because it leaves you vulnerable. You know, your heart's just there. Anyone could come up and poke it with a sharp stick, you know? But it takes bravery to do that. And it's actually, I think, a quality that is not a bad one to have if you start to gain it. If you learn to, like, that seems like something you'd have to do in baby steps, or at least I would, I think. But the thing is, if you do so, others may see you and emulate what you're doing and make a kind of difficult thing easier. Like, if you see other people doing a hard thing, they might, or if other people see you doing something difficult, they might fall in line, and it might be something that everyone would benefit from. Because opening your heart and being vulnerable is softness. Strength in a soft way, but still, both would be true. Okay, the next card, it says, here's the picture of it. Your life is so special. Treat it with loving care. So I think that goes along with what I was saying. Your life is so special, so realize that. Like, understand that is all yours to have and to hold and to do with what you will. Your life. It's up to you to shape it, to steer it, to live it. Really, we should all, if possible, live each moment to its maximum potential. And you want to treat that life with loving care, and I think that would involve your treatment of other people, which mirrors back to you. You know, whatever you're putting out, you're going to get something reflected back at you. And you hope that the reflection is your initial good intent. I mean, what you send out, I would hope, is positive and good and compassionate and loving and helpful, like all of the nice things. And so your life is special, treat it with loving care. That's like self-help. That's like treating the people that you see all the time or that you live with, that you're related to, or those types of things, and nurturing those relationships so that everyone wants to treat each other with the same loving care that they do their own life. Because that reflection that you're seeing it is you looking back at you. Even though it's a different person, they're reflecting back at you. Like, it just could go on back and forth, like an endless loop. Because we are all like a different model version of each other. That is a complicated, sort of convoluted thing that I am not going to fully explain right now. So the last one of these cards says, oh, here's how you look. And it's got like a sort of a sun, moon, dog type phenomena happening, although that's very involved. Like that is, if it's like an astronomical occurrence, I don't think happens very often. And I'm learning lately that things that happen in space with the planets and the stars, there are cycles there where events can be seen in the sky. And for a long time, like millions of years, we didn't know what was causing them, like in the scientific sense, and it was fully experienced as some sort of like naturally occurring act of God. And so, like right now, the Three-Eye Atlas, it's not a comet, but it looks like one, that has just passed us, or is going by, like, as of last night. It is here because there has been a convergence of events that have happened because of the shift that's been happening here on Earth. And it's also a catalyst to unlocking some of our genetic features that it took the combination of like a plurality of people awakening and becoming enlightened and conscious to those things at the same time, and together generating a maintained signal that all of it wouldn't happen except for everything else had to happen together. And things in space like full moons and stargates and even just those like moon cycles, they do certain things, but with those convergence of events all happening together, that creates an opportunity for an occasion like a Three-Eye Atlas to come by and add what it can do to the conditions that are finally right. Yeah, it's like a circle that has to complete itself. So this card says, live your life with both feet in. Like, just don't half-ass it anymore. And this is something that I am, like, feeling right now, that I feel like I need to do this. And it is more than just having taken on the call to, you know, like, be a light worker or an away shower. I lost track of what I was going to say. Live your life with both feet and commit to fully being here. So yeah, I mean, you kind of can't half-ass the awakening thing. Like, if you start to awaken and actually become aware of all this, like, phenomena and beings like the ones that populate the Galactic Federation, and there's other federations and councils from ET races, and if you don't, like, if you can't take that on as something that's part of reality, that's had to be hidden for a number of reasons, mainly because there just wasn't that convergence of events that I was talking about that could come together and create something like the moon. The beaver moon was last night. I think it was last night. And because of the raised consciousness level and the shift, there's been all kinds of sky phenomena. I know when I looked out at the moon last night, there was the usual cloud cover, which has gaps in it, so the moon is intermittent, but the intermittent, like, your ability to see it is off and on because of the cloud cover. But last night I was looking at that thing, and it was moving. The moon was moving in the sky, and it wasn't the clouds going over it. That thing was, like, swirling, and it had, like, tails coming off of it, like a pinwheel. That was a phenomenon that doesn't normally happen. And that happened because so many of us have accepted the idea that these unusual events we're seeing in the sky, with weather, with the way we're behaving, with... Here's the thing that's kind of weird, and I'm not sure what to do with it, but I find that I have off and on atheists following me, and that's fine. Good, I'm happy, like, whatever they have to say, cool. I don't necessarily agree with them. I did try being an atheist, and I couldn't do it because I didn't believe in it. Like, I don't believe there's not at least some intelligence that made everything happen, because from what I've heard from atheists, they think there was nothing, and then all of a sudden there was stuff, and it just happened, and there's no explanation. There certainly wasn't a god or something like that that created everything and made things happen. Like, they just can't go there, and that's fine. I have your belief. We all have them. I don't have anything against you for it, However, and also, by the way, I never said that I was an atheist. I never said I wasn't. I never said, like, I'm all Jesus freak and church lady. I never said any of that stuff either, because I'm not. I like Jesus. I like what he said and stuff, but I'm a Christ freak. Yeah, I'll say that. However, if you watch one of the Galactic Federation videos, they start talking about stuff that sounds like it's Bible talk, and a lot of it is, but these kinds of things that I'm going to mention here have gone past, and nobody really commented on it, and they were things that were predicted in the Bible, like prophecies, like the seas running red. That happened, like, several years ago, and because they're not, like, all happening at once, they're like the events have been, like, staggered time periods that they're happening, and so it doesn't quite click that, oh wait, that was a Bible prophecy that just came true, or this is happening just like in the Bible. It said the seventh, which seal of the seven opened and what would happen, or what would be happening. And it goes right along with this thing that I've been talking about for like for a couple of months, where we thought we knew a thing, and then when you get the explanation, or you get up close to the thing itself, you learn that you learned it wrong. It's not what you thought. It's not what anyone thought, because we're kind of all finding this stuff out now. And I'm like anti-religion, organized religion, where you can make a profit. I call it industrialized religion, and I don't want anything to do with it because you don't even need it. You don't need the intermediary. You don't need the dogma. You don't need the people. You don't need the tithing to support the people. However, some people do. Some people like that. They get something out of it. And I don't fault them for that. I just don't be trying to drag me back into it. That's all I'm saying. So, what what I'm against is religion. As far as God is concerned, I don't experience God the way the Bible describes it, and I don't call it God anymore because it doesn't feel right. But I'm not like a church lady that's all like, you're gonna go to hell because you did this, like all of that stuff. I'm past that. Like, I know that there's more. If you look deeper, if you look below the surface level, and also I forgot what I was going to say. I hate it when that happens. So, okay. One last time. Live life with both feet in, fully commit to being here. So, things like what's in this picture happen when a whole gang of us live with both of our feet in and fully commit to being here. Fully commit to the event and our part in it. And once you're aware, you are a part of this event that's far larger than your own individual self, and it's for the benefit of everybody, for the betterment of all. And it's what, had the Bible been written, God, I was going to say honestly, I'm not even sure if that's what was the issue with it. Like, I don't even remember what I was listening to today, but I heard them talking about, it was my friend. She was talking about the people that wrote the Bible were like some of the kids that were following Jesus around when he was doing his ministry. Like Matthew and Paul, I guess, were two of the children that you would have read about in the Bible following him around. And then they grew up to be, I guess, disciples because they shared his message. And that kind of accounts for like the staggering of the writing of the passages, the literal like writing it down. And so once I learned that, it was like, oh, okay, well that would apply to a whole bunch of that book. And here's an interesting thing that the ETs had said, and it is, if it seems like it's a bunch of stories about stuff, it actually is. It is descriptions of things that we describe differently now. Like, apparently there was a big war with the people from Orion here on Earth for centuries, and they were part of the, cabal? They were part of the cabal, and the people involved with that, like the families that have been sort of in charge because they were like the first ones to become really wealthy and sort of invented the groundwork and the framework for commerce and capitalism. So, you know, being there right at the start of all of those money-making ventures, they know all of the tricks and all of the treats and, you know, how to cheat and presumably how to succeed honestly as well. But being the sort of evil, negative column type people, they're predatory. And so they want to present the narrative in a way that they want to, that may not entirely be honest, or would we have like omissions that would be harmful for people because they would be omitted so that when they're trying to get people to agree with stuff, they don't know they're agreeing to stuff, certain things, and that has never worked out well for people. So I also pulled a card from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene because I feel like her energy and what she has to offer, and she was also a disciple, so she is a Christ herself. And by Christ I mean someone that has, it's a title because they've attained a certain level of mastery. And so here's the card I pulled from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene deck. When one loves with no expectations, when one loves with no conditions nor expectations, one is expressing the unconditional love of thy sacred heart. So all of that stuff I was saying in the other card is about getting to a place where we're like learning to interact with each other and really learning how to love unconditionally. Remembering, I should say, because this isn't our real body. This isn't our appearance is just that. It's not our true inner self. It's not our soul. It's not the makeup of our being. It's our costume that we're wearing. It's our overcoat. So it is frightening to love with no expectations or conditions because not everyone else is, and so you are leaving yourself vulnerable. But when you're able to do that, you're in a position too that you can take hits that come at you. You can take people not responding in kind, not responding kindly, with kindness. And so, but you've cleared your mental clutter, and you're able to then be that vulnerable person, and you have that strength that I talked about earlier to be basically naked in a situation where everyone's got a sharp stick and a sharp word and they want to throw rocks at you. And because you've gotten to a place where you can just throw away your outer coverings, throw away your armor, just lay it down, because the love itself is what's going to protect you. However it comes, in the form of love, it's not going to harm you, it's not going to kill you. You may feel some things and go through some stuff, but that's part of the practice, part of the learning and the tuning. So, I think it's what we ultimately aim for, is to return to this state of being where you can live in unconditional love and vulnerability, and it's fine, and it's fulfilling, and it's wonderful, because everyone's the same way. And that is what I believe with all of my heart we're heading to, is soon we're all going to be able to sense what the other's feeling. We're all going to be able to be telepathic, because it's something we're returning to. The life that we're living, we have lived sort of in amnesia, and in the dark, because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but it's fulfilling our karma, for one thing, and we couldn't do it without the block of amnesia, because if we knew what was going to happen, then we would influence what we're going to do. And that is not, that wouldn't work the karma the way it should go, you know? That's the best way I can describe that. So, just some words that I had on my mind that I wanted to share, because I think right now, over the world, there is a lot of stress and tension because we have this dynamic where there's like the people in charge, the leaders, and then there's the people, everybody else below that. And the tone of that dynamic, I'm just going to say, kind of sucks right now. Because everybody's wearing their armor and they're not vulnerable and showing unconditional love. And it's something that, it's like the ultimate goal. Like, that is where we're headed eventually. And it's just going to be a return to what was normal for, what is normal for pretty much all the people that don't live on Earth. Because we're doing our Earth thing here, and it's cruel and it's ugly sometimes, and then other times it's shockingly beautiful and right next to something really ugly, because that's just the way it happens. I think I'm done. Thank you and good night.